Hey everyone, welcome back to Effect4You channel. Today, we are going to create horror Halloween title, like this. First, I have a request. Please subscribe to our second channel also, if something happens with this channel, so we can connect with the second channel. You can find the second channel link in the description. Thanks. As usual, first we need to create our main comp. Then create a new solid layer. This is our background layer. Here we have some elements, and drag the wall texture image into the timeline, and convert as a 3D layer. Go to 2 view horizontal, and move the Z position far from the camera. Select the layer and search motion tile effect. Change output width and height 300, and check mirror edges. And change layer mode multiply. Now drag skull texture image into the timeline, and change mode normal to screen, and convert as a 3D layer, and move the layer far from the camera. You can also increase the scale around 150%, and adjust the position on top side of the comp. And also decrease the opacity around 60%. Now drag texture image into the timeline, change mode normal to screen, and convert as a 3D layer, and move the Z position backside of the comp. Now select the layer and search motion tile effect. And change output width and height 300, and check mirror edges. Perfect. Now again go to project window and drag spiderweb image into the timeline, and change layer mode screen, and convert as a 3D layer, and move the Z position backside of the comp, and increase the layer size. Cool. Now create a new camera. I am using 50mm preset camera. Then create a null layer. And convert as a 3D layer, and parent your camera with null layer. Now select null layer, press P for position, go to around 4 seconds forward, and add a keyframe. Then go to first frame, and move the Z position backside of the comp. Now press R for rotation, and add a keyframe on Z rotation, and change the Z rotation -20 degree, then go to 4 seconds forward, and change the Z rotation 0 degree, select all keyframe and ease them. And make your graph like this. I think we need to move the last Z position keyframe little bit close to the camera. As you can see here, our comp not covered with footage. So select texture layer, and increase output width and height. Similarly, resize the spider web. Select the layer and search motion tile effect. And increase output width and height 200, and check mirror edges. Perfect. Cool. Now go to project window and drag all fog footage into the timeline. and change layer mode screen. Select the rising plume footage. We need to speed up our layer, so right-click on Layer, go to Time, and select Time Stretch, and change the time duration around 6 to 7 seconds. Now our comp look like this. Cool. Now drag pumpkin image into the timeline and convert as a 3D layer, and move the Z position little bit backside of the comp. Now go to around 4 seconds forward, and decrease the size according to your comp. And adjust the position little bit bottom side of the comp. And also move back side of the comp. Now we need to create a mask on pumpkin's eyes and mouth. So duplicate the pumpkin layer, select pen tool and create a mask like this. Now select duplicate layer, and search CC Radial Fast Blur. Increase amount 60, and zoom brightest. And move the center point center of the pumpkin. Now select Ellipse tool, and create an ellipse like this. And convert as a 3D layer, and adjust the layer below to the pumpkin. Now search Gaussian blur effect. And increase the blurriness amount 30. Then duplicate the layer, and resize it little bit. Perfect. This is our shadow layers. Also move the layers below to pumpkin. Now create a new adjustment layer. And search curves effect. And make your curves like this. Then create one more adjustment layer. This is our color correction layer. Select the layer and search tint effect, and change white map color, as you like. We need to move the duplicate pumpkin layer, above color correction layer. Cool. Now I want to animate the opacity of duplicate pumpkin layer. So go to around 1.5 seconds forward. And add a keyframe. Then go to 1 frame forward. And decrease the opacity. Similarly, we need to adjust the opacity after every 1 and 2 frame forward. Cool. Now select the main pumpkin layer, go to first frame, and hit T for opacity, and add a keyframe and change opacity 0%. Also change the duplicate pumpkin layer opacity 0%. Then go to around 20 frame forward. And change the opacity 100%. Select the all keyframes and move few frames forward. Also move the rising plume fog layer above the main pumpkin layer. Cool. You can adjust the opacity keyframes according to your choice. Now go to project window and drag Bats footage into the timeline. Now drag dust transition footage into the timeline. And change mode normal to screen, resize the layer around 130%. Cool. Go to around 3 seconds forward, and copy the duplicate pumpkin opacity keyframes, and paste it here. Also duplicate the dust transition layer, and also move the layer few frame forward. Now drag skull image into the timeline. Change layer mode screen. And resize the layer a little bit. And adjust left side of the comp. And decrease the opacity around 50%. Select skull image, go to few frame forward, and add a keyframe on opacity, and change the opacity 0%. Then again go to 1 frame forward and change the opacity. Similarly adjust the opacity every 1 and 2 frame head. Perfect. Now again go to few second forward, and duplicate the dust transition, and move the layer, and also paste the skull opacity keyframes here. Perfect. Then again go to few frame forward, and copy the duplicate pumpkin layer opacity, and paste it here. Perfect, it's look good to me. Now create a new adjustment layer. And search exposure effect. Go to first frame and add a keyframe on exposure. And change the exposure amount 10. Then again go to 1 and 2 frame forward. And change the exposure amount. Similarly do the same thing for few frame ahead. Copy the keyframes and paste it few frame ahead. Cool. Perfect. Now drag spider footage into the timeline. Here you can see. Now we need to create our text. So create a new composition. I call this text placeholder. Select text tool and type your text. Then select first text layer. And search turbulent displace effect. Change size 10, and add expression on evolution. And type time multiply 50. Copy the effect and paste it on second text layer. And move the center point center of the text. Now go to project window, and create a new composition. This is our text matte comp. Then create a new solid layer. Select the layer and search fractal noise effect. Increase contrast 300. and brightness around -175, until our comp become black. And add a keyframe. Then go to 2 second forward, and increase the brightness around -100. Then again go to 2 second forward, and change the brightness until our comp become white. Now duplicate the layer, then go to project window and drag wall texture image between both layers. Select the bottom layer, and change Mataluma Matte, and move the top layer few frame forward. Now go to main comp, and create a new composition. I call this text 1. And drag the text matte and text placeholder comp into the timeline. Select the bottom layer and change Mataluma Matte. Now go to main comp and drag text 1 comp into the timeline. Select the layer and search fill effect. You can change the fill color according to your choice. Move the layer top side of the comp. Cool. You can adjust the pumpkin opacity keyframes according to you. And also move the spider layer below to color correction layer. As you can see here, our spider web not visible. So duplicate spider web layer. And move few frame forward, and resize according to the composition. You can adjust the layer on that frame, when our bats hit our camera. Perfect. Now again go to main comp, and drag bat image into the timeline. Resize the layer a little bit. And move above the all fog layers. Rotate the layer a little bit. Now we need to animate the position, so hit P for position and add a keyframe. Then go to few frame back and move the position. Perfect. You can also decrease the opacity around 60%. Perfect, it's look good to me. Now create a new black solid layer. Create an ellipse and adjust the ellipse little bit. And change mask add to subtract. And increase mask feather. And also increase the mask expansion little bit. One more thing, select text layer, and search drop shadow effect. Distance around 20. And softness 10. And opacity 30%. Now go to few second forward, select camera, and hit P for position, and add a keyframe, then go to 1 frame forward. And move the Z position little bit close to the camera. Also make text layer 3D layer, and move the Z position backside of the comp. Perfect, our animation has done. Hit 0 for render. Thanks for watching. I hope you like the video, so please, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. For more tutorial I'll see you in the next video.